Hi everyone, welcome to How Ines Rolls. I thought today I would show you how I'm making dinner so easy you can do it too. So let's get started. So what I decided to do was pretty much a variation of a hobo meal. If you're not familiar with a hobo meal, all it is just putting all of your dinner in a foil packet and cooking it. And then a little bit later, I thought I would show you how I make a Mexican red rice, how I've been doing it for many years now. So I thought it's super easy as well. It's actually one of my favorite recipes to do for arroz con pollo, but I won't be adding the chicken parts to it. So I'll link a video below if you're interested in the arroz con pollo. I believe that video also shows you how to make, how I make crock pot beans. So if you're interested, the link will be down below. So first off, I need to get Paul's help. Hey, Paul.
Hi, Ines.
So we're going to actually put these foil packs on the Traeger. Can you help me with that?
Yes.
He's on his way to work, so I thought he could at least help me turn it on, and hopefully we'll have enough time to cook most of it. But foil packs are pretty easy, right? Like the dinners?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go get that taken care of. I just realized I didn't tell you that I was making Santa Fe chicken, which is going to be the variation of the hobo dinner. So let me cut out some pieces of some heavy duty aluminum foil. And what I'm going to do with that is spray the inside with some cooking spray so that nothing hopefully sticks to it. And then I will show you what we put inside it. So I just went to my butcher yesterday or the day before and had some chicken breast fresh. So chicken breast from the butcher tends to be a little bit thick. So what I like to do is slice them thinner so I can get like half pieces, and that'll be really good for serving size. So I'm gonna set up enough for 4 servings. And what I'm gonna be doing is seasoning it with some taco seasoning. Now I make this seasoning. I actually will link the video below that makes this. It's actually it's tied to homemade brownies. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's what I did it in. And it has how I do it. And I think there might be a link to it at the end of the video on the recipe to this. So that, and then you're gonna wanna put some salsa on top. But if you don't have salsa, some Rotel would work just fine. And we can't forget our favorite veggies like bell peppers, onions, corn, and rinsed out beans. Now, my family doesn't care for beans, except for me. I am such a bean lover. Let me know in the comments if you are a big fan of eating beans. So I'll have that on the side. So tonight, pretty much what we're gonna be having is a Mexican meal. So let me get this chicken cut up and we'll start putting our hobo packets together. All right, so now I have all of my pieces of chicken. It is actually 4 chicken breasts, and I cut them in half, so now I have enough for 8 foil packets. So if you don't have a grill, that's totally fine. You can put these in the oven, and now you have like individual packets of dinner. So the serving size is going to be already taken care of for you. I would just go ahead and put that at 400 degrees, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing on the grill. So let me just get these salt and peppered, and then I'll show you how quickly I'm putting these together. Okay, so I have 8 of these little packets. Now I just used frozen bell peppers and onions. That is such a good find because bell peppers can go bad in your refrigerator pretty quickly, as I always learn. So having them in the freezer is always a good go-to. So this is gonna be great. And now if you love the beans, this is when you would add them in there as well. So let's fold these babies up and get them on the grill. I thought I would show you how I'm folding them. As I'm saying, let's fold them up, I thought, oh, what if people need to know how I'm doing that? So just kind of a tri-fold, and then I'm just going to fold these up to where I feel that the chicken's at. So it's about right here where it ends. So it's got some room to wiggle, and it will probably plump up and shrink up a little bit. So that's about where, let's see, about where this one goes. So you can see it's Just made a nice little envelope. So these are gonna go on the grill. I have it about, what do you have it at, Paul, 400?
About 375.
375. So if you're using your oven, it's gonna be about 400. You're gonna put these in for about 30 minutes, and then you're gonna check one of the internal temperatures. So I'll show you a little bit more about that, but let's get these on the grill. Just make sure you close your grill up pretty fast because you're letting all the heat out, huh, Paul?
That's right.
Okay, while those chicken packets are cooking on the grill or in your oven, depending on how you're doing it, I'm gonna show you how I make my Mexican red rice. Very easy. I'm just gonna use my skillet, but just make sure if you're using a pan that it has, or a pot pan, that it has a lid and it's got a good well to it. So something that has a little bit of a deeper base will help because rice expands. So we wanna make sure there's enough room. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how I make the stock. So I'm just gonna microwave about 2 cups of water in the microwave. And then when it's hot and boiling, I'm gonna add a bouillon cube. Just make sure it's fully dissolved. Now this might not be completely 2 cups, but that's okay because I'm gonna be using a lot more water than 2 cups. I just got my water out of the microwave, and all I'm gonna do right now is just kind of, it's kind of a satisfying feeling to just kind of chop up the softened bouillon cube, just so that when I put it into the hot water, it melts it a lot faster. I love using bouillon cubes more than just getting stock. And I know it's probably not as healthy or whatever, but I like having accessible stock anytime I need it. We're gonna give this a good stir and just try to get a lot of these little pieces starting to melt. And we're just gonna put it aside. I have all of my ingredients here. I have a little bit of oil. I like using dehydrated onions, but you could use a half of an onion if that's what you would prefer. A small can of tomato sauce, and of course the rice. And I keep my rice in a nice big container. This will hold 10 pounds. So if you're a family that needs, you know, you go through a lot of rice, then these bigger containers, I've gotten them at Walmart. So, and I believe they were under 10 bucks, and I just love them so much. So what we're gonna do now is heat up some oil, maybe about a tablespoon. You know, I've done this so many times that I don't even really have it all written out. So I'm gonna do my best for you today. Let me get it heated through. This is gonna be the most important part. So my oil has gotten nice and warm. So by warm, I mean hot. And I'm gonna take my handy dandy 1 cup measuring. So I'm gonna have it almost overflowing. And I'm just going to put it into the oil. This is the most important part. You want it to get toasty and not burned. So you want to make sure you're flipping it around, getting as much of it toasted because it will absorb in all of the flavors that we're going to put in. And that's what makes it so special. Okay, so we're in process of toasting it. You can see that some of the rice is like really white and some of this more translucent. So some of it is starting to toast. So I'll show you about a minute what it looks like. So this has been now a couple of minutes or so. I just keep moving the rice around. Now you can see that most of the rice is white. There's hardly any more translucence. And you can see that there's kind of a goldeny effect taking place. It's okay if, you know, that some of them get a couple of burnt ones if you like, you know, it went too fast. Now I have this on a medium high and I'm moving it around a lot. If you get a couple of burnt pieces, it's not the end of the world, believe me. I've done it lots of times. So, but now this is ready for the next step. So we're just going to add this whole can of tomato sauce and get it nice and mixed in. I'm gonna add a little bit of these chopped onions, not much. I'm not a huge, chunky, maybe like a teaspoon. But if you're doing a chopped onion, you want those pieces finely chopped. Maybe like a half of an onion to a whole, depending on how much you like of that onion paste. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. I do like having pepper in rice. Oh, it's already starting to smell so good. So now we're going to add the chicken broth in. And that's about it, you guys. So we're watching the liquid be absorbed into the rice. We don't want it to burn on the bottom, so we're gonna have to check it every so often. And because we're doing that, we're actually releasing a lot more of the steam. So that's kind of the price you pay for checking it to make sure it's not burning, but you just add a little bit more water to it. So let me show you what this looks like up close. This is probably about 3 cups of water, and I'm gonna turn it down a little. So now it's gonna be more at medium heat. And I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a stir, and then I'm gonna top it right now with the cover. So while that's going, I'm just gonna refill up my jar with some more water just to keep it right next to it in case it starts to, I notice it needs more water. And so now I'm just going to kind of do some cleaning up, and I'm gonna go check on the chickens in about 10 minutes. One quick thing before I go and check on the chicken, the only thing that I would do different here to make arroz con pollo is I add some vegetables. Like I add corn, because I know my family loves corn, and I will have already added the chunked chicken. So I like to give it a good cook before, so to the point to where it's almost cooked all the way through, and you know, mostly cooked through. I just able to just chop it up, add it into there, and now it will finish off with the rice. So good. And even I use that liquid as the stock, so that way more flavor is even infused. So you can see where this rice dish can become a main meal by adding some chicken and vegetables. And my mom, she used to add like peas and carrots, and there was even a couple of times she added potatoes. I don't know how she did that, but it was so good. My kids, on the other hand, are a little bit pickier. My family is, so we've been able to have it with corn. It's still very delicious. So just another little tidbit to make this rice even better. So I'm gonna check right now on one of the packets. So I'm gonna quickly take one out, put it on a little tray, and then start doing the temperature check. So if you're gonna do that from the oven, you may wanna just take one out, put it on your counter, and quickly do it, and then put it back. So that way it can get caught up on the cook time. So wish me luck. This is more Paul's domain. He loves this part, but careful, it's nice and hot. Ooh, it smells really good, you guys. It says it's nearly done. I'm gonna wrap that back up and put that back onto the grill. Not too shabby. So that rice is also nearly done, you guys. So this whole meal has taken like maybe an hour total when it's all said and done. So that's not bad. And it's gonna be so good. So my rice is nearly done. I'm just trying to get the last of the liquid out, but I wanna get underneath that rice because I don't want it to like get more burnt or toasted on the bottom. So that's what I have to do as to making sure with my skillet that I can kind of jiggle it a little bit. So that's what makes me lose a lot of the moisture and I have to replenish. So all in all, I probably use about 5 to 6 cups of water. Oh, this is looking so good, you guys. So I believe we are done with the rice. Now I need to bring in the chicken. Okay, I just got these off of the grill. And so what you're gonna do now, they're pretty hot still, but I wanna show you one open all the way. Wow, let me bring you closer. Look at that. That is like the perfect portion size. So I'm gonna open all of them up, and then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese on them. And then I'm gonna kind of tent them close a little bit just to let that cheese melt on top a little. And then this would be a perfect way just to serve it, let your guests, your family just get theirs. But being that some of our family doesn't care for all of the vegetables, i.e. the younger ones, I am gonna just put it out on a display dish and it'll be so beautiful and so yummy. So now while we're letting the cheese melt a little bit in those little foil tents, I thought we can start dishing up the rice. Let me show you what it looks like. How perfect is that? Wow, I'm gonna have to try it. Let me get a spoon. So good. So my kids, when we make arroz con pollo, they will put it, they don't really eat the chicken that much, they'll just eat the rice. And they'll put it on a flour tortilla and they call it arroz con tía. They were cute when they made up those cute little, those new little labels. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in my dish. These are looking so good. So I'm gonna bring you closer and we'll plate these up. Okay, you guys, here it is. Wow, look at all this deliciousness. So we already know that the rice, the arroz, is so good. Now it's time to have a little taste off one of those chicken breasts, just to make sure it tastes good. I have to do that, right? I am the chef. So I have to make sure it's delicious. This smells so good, you guys. So I've made a little pile here of the vegetables. This is one of Paul's favorite things. He loves the chicken fajitas. He loves Mexican food. Give him some corn tortillas and he's in heaven right here. Or some tortilla chips. Yum. Okay, this is kind of heavy. So I need to try it and I'll let you know. Let's do this. So good. That seasoning, that taco sauce, the taco packet seasoning that's homemade. All those flavors are coming through. It's not dry. It's nice. Now a lot of the juice was coming out through the foil a little bit, not all of it, but some of it. And I just made sure that like right now I'm going to cover it really good right now so it can kind of absorb and keep into those all those juices to stay in the chicken. So now dinner is served. So thanks so much, you guys, for stopping by the channel. Give it a thumbs up if you think that this is a meal that you could get behind and make it for your family. Or just give it a thumbs up because you thought it was really good. So stick around, rollers. You just never know what I'll be rolling out next. And don't forget, tomorrow is the live, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there.